Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky educator is answering for the crime of sexual misconduct more than 30 years later. Plus, an Estill County coach admitted to sexual relations with a student that played on his team.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. Thankfully, it is Friday, so happy Friday to all of you out there. The time is 5 o'clock. Today's date, November 15th. It's also time to check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a first look at our forecast this morning. And Megan, I have to say, it was warmer when I walked out this door this morning, and I was thankful for that just a little bit because I left my coat at work.
Yes, we do have a warmer start to the morning. That doesn't mean our afternoon's going to be warmer, but you won't have to be just as rushed out the door to make sure your car is turned on when you're heading out this morning. But you will have to worry about some rain in some places in the areas. We're watching the remnants of the rain yesterday push through our area, leaving a more dry start to your afternoon hours as we go into the later parts of your day. But let's look at those temperatures. Yesterday, we were looking at mostly 40s this time, but now we see a lot more of those upper 40s and a lot of places hitting that 50-degree mark. So it is warmer today. We're not as cool, but those high temperatures won't be as warm. Instead of seeing the mostly upper 50s with some 60s, we're looking at mostly the mid to upper 50s for today. And if you're heading to Wise, a little bit cooler, 50 degrees is your high temperature. But as you're going through the next couple hours, we will see those temperatures warm up. Will be cloudy for most of the day after that rain subsides and goes through. And I'll have your ARH 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes. Amelia.
All right. Thank you, Megan. Yesterday, one Floyd County educator was sentenced for crimes committed nearly 30 years ago. John Martin was a history teacher at the former Garth Vocational High School. For a 2-year period from 1995 until 1997, his former student Shauna Absher says he raped and sodomized her almost every day. He was indicted for rape and sodomy earlier this year and pleaded guilty to an amended charge of sexual misconduct yesterday. He was sentenced to 1 year of probation and 2 years of no contact with Absher or any minors.
It was empowering, but I felt like it was a little bit of a letdown because it's just like a slap on the wrist for doing what he did to me.
Though Martin was still an employee of the school district as of yesterday morning, district representatives say he will be terminated immediately upon the court's official ruling. An Eastern Kentucky high school coach is in jail amid of claims of a sexual relationship with students. Dustin Beeler was arrested after reports involving students on the high school girls soccer team. Beeler was also the track and field coach. WYMT's Phil Pendleton explains what he is accused of and what school leaders are saying about their reactions.
The Estill County school system has an anonymous tip line where students can report anything that is concerning to them.
Last Tuesday, we got an anonymous tip about the situation. The principal contacted DCBS.
State police launched an investigation into assistant girls soccer and head track and field coach Samuel Destin Beeler. Police looked into allegations involving Beeler and 2 soccer players, one saying Beeler sent her inappropriate Snapchat messages, another saying that she was having a sexual relationship with him.
The employee was contacted and told not to have any contact going further with any Estill County student.
According to Kentucky State Police, Beeler admitted to having a sexual relationship with at least one of these students, but denied sending inappropriate messages to the other one. School leaders say they're cooperating with authorities, and students and staff impacted have services available to them.
Yeah, I mean, we have a crisis management team that takes care of situations like this. We have enacted them, and they're there to support our students or any staff member that may need it.
Police say the sexual encounters between Beeler and a student happened between the night of October 31st and the early morning of November 1st. In Estill County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Beeler remains in the Three Forks Regional Jail, where he declined to speak with WYMT about the claims. After a 6-day manhunt, police have finally arrested a man who is accused of killing his son in Franklin County. Kentucky State Police say Stephen Gertley was found inside a barn on his property shortly before 1:30 yesterday morning. He was arrested and charged with 1 count of murder. Police were searching for Gertley since Saturday night. KSP says Gertley shot his son, 36-year-old Justin Gertley, after a fight. He pleaded not guilty in court yesterday afternoon. A joint investigation led to a first-of-its-kind drug lab seizure in southern Kentucky. The Knox County and Laurel County Sheriff's offices say they executed a search warrant at a home in London where stolen guns were found. They also found meth, morphine tablets, a meth lab, and a DMT lab. Officials believe this is the first lab of its kind seized in either county. DMT is a Schedule I hallucinogen. 48-year-old Robert Wayne Simmons was arrested on drug charges. London police and several federal agencies served a search warrant at a local massage parlor. Police say this came after several tips through numerous local and federal channels that criminal acts were taking place at Rose Spa in London. They seized several items, including a credit card reader, security camera, client ledgers, and U.S. currency. This investigation is ongoing. A contractor is safe after being trapped for hours at a demolition site in Louisville. Officials say it happened yesterday around noon at the site of the former community correctional facility near U of L Hospital. The building is in the process of being demolished. The man was freed, placed on a gurney, and taken to the hospital in stable condition. Medical cannabis will be legal in Kentucky at the start of the new year, but it might take longer for products to hit shelves. Governor Andy Beshear said it's unlikely that medical cannabis businesses are going to be fully operational by January 1st. The first dispensary lottery is being held later this month, with a second one scheduled for the middle of December. Still, advocates like Kentucky NORML say it could be months before businesses are ready.
A lot of these places, they're going to have to build out either from the ground up or refurbish a building from scratch. I'm thinking March to June, we'll start seeing things really hit the ground running.
Bratcher says it could take up to a year for some cultivators to start growing. Kentucky NORML has postponed many of its registration clinics for medical cannabis cards to better match the state's new timeline. Thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we return, President-elect Donald Trump had big announcements on an election victory lap with the latest round of cabinet picks.
And we've been enjoying this above average seasonal weather, but it's going to get cold starting next week. I'll have more information coming up.